Maria Sacco, I can't read the writing. Labris? Maria Labris? Andy Frazer?
Good evening, Council. I'm Andy Frazer. I'd like to speak about this discussion to possibly censure Councilman Meyering. First, I'd like to acknowledge Councilman Davis for making his comment last week defending each council member's right to speak, even if he didn't agree with what they were saying and even if he didn't agree with their speaker's presentation style. Now, I appreciate that you want to maintain order during these meetings, and I appreciate the fact that you want to keep these discussions on topic. At least one of you has commented that you were embarrassed by this whole situation. But I believe that raising this issue to the level of censure is going to make this even more embarrassing for everyone involved in the entire city. I provided you with a screenshot of what I saw Thursday morning when I opened my Yahoo homepage. As you can see, the leading headline is Sunnyvale City Council to explore censuring Councilman Meyering. I also provided you with a screenshot of what I saw when I opened the Mercury News homepage immediately after I'd opened the Yahoo homepage. And as you can see, the Mercury News also has the same leading headline on the front page. The Friday morning newspaper carried the hard copy version of this. The bottom line is the media loves stories like this. If council decides to pursue this, it's going to drag the city's name through the dirt. A few months ago, Councilman Davis proposed a council retreat with a facilitator. I hope that the council will rely on this option to resolve this issue instead of pursuing this proposal to censure, which I think will only draw a lot of negative publicity to the city. Thanks.
Thank you. I think it's Dan Johnson. Is it Dan? Oh, Ray, excuse me, Ray. Sorry.
In this country, free speech, the open exchange of ideas and opinions, is guaranteed by the First Amendment of the Constitution, which states Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. When he ran for City Council, Pat Meyering clearly stated his reasons for running and the objectives he hoped to achieve if elected. Much to his credit, since being elected, he has endeavored to represent, express, and address the concerns of the people who voted for him. However, it appears that when he isn't in lockstep with the rest of the council, his ideas are often dismissed out of hand, such as the $5 million developer default payment that has not been collected, or the outrageous salaries and benefits being paid our City Council and Sunnyvale employees, such as $375,000 per year for a city manager. For perspective, the President of the United States makes $400,000 with a $50,000 expense account. One can only imagine the frustration this causes Mr. Meyering and how it disenfranchises the voters who elected him. Tonight we are here, at least I am here, because it appears the First Amendment is in jeopardy in Sunnyvale. Speech that is free may be pleasant, or it may be contentious, belligerent, disruptive, sarcastic, disagreeable, or offensive. I'm not condoning discourteous behavior, but people need to focus on the issue, not the tone of the debate. Free speech does not have to be politically correct. In fact, I find it contemptible to use that approach. I believe in calling a spade and not describe it as a metal-tipped implement designed to disturb the earth. But I defend a speaker's right to address us any way they wish. The proposed action against Mr. Meyering brings into focus whether or not the Code of Ethical Conduct and Council policy is in conflict with the First Amendment. and so far as it impinges upon one's freedom of speech, it needs to be altered. I've seldom read a document so chilling. Parts of it are the essence of tyranny and in complete opposition of freedom. What is at stake here is the very fabric that separates this nation from all others. One cannot sanitize free speech by defining what is right or wrong, because those limits are purely subjective. It's not like sports where there are clear-cut boundaries. It's in or it's out. To attempt to do that puts our freedom of expression at risk. Therefore, the issue tonight should be the code's validity, not its unconstitutional enforcement. The Founding Fathers believed in free speech, no matter how contentious, by placing it in their First Amendment to our Constitution. I believe Patrick Henry would be proud of Patrick Meyering and have nothing but contempt for those who censure him. Tonight, I hope he would be proud of all of you.
Thank you. Barbara Fukumoto.
Good evening. I'd like to note that we've mostly just heard one side of the story, and we have heard a lot of free speech from Mr. Meyering tonight. Because Sunnyvale council meetings have become so contentious the last 2 years, I've avoided watching them, and I'm not alone. However, it's unfair and unwise for residents to abandon our constructive council majority and our competent staff to the relentless insults and unjustified attacks of a council member and his associates. Residents who believe that democracy requires basic standards of civility must speak up for the good of the city. I request that our council members work together as colleagues with our staff. Council and staff are on the same team. Government is how we figure out how to do things together. It's sad when some make council chambers a no-holds-barred battlefield. I request that all council members treat each other and staff with courtesy and respect. Browbeating staff is inappropriate, demeaning, and damaging to the morale of our own employees. I request that all council members refrain from personal attacks on the integrity of other council members and from questioning their motives as though they could read minds. If a council member disagrees with the existing campaign finance laws, the honorable thing to do would be to work to get these laws changed rather than repeatedly vilifying other elected officials who are abiding by current law. I request that council members refrain from shouting over our mayor as he tries to fulfill his responsibility to keep the meeting on track, even if you disagree with his judgment. I request that all council members exercise care in getting the facts right. And I request that all council members act with some degree of humility, acknowledging that no one council member has a corner on the truth. No one council member is the sole arbiter of the law, the Constitution, and ethics. We have the best chance of addressing the issues before the city through civil discourse. In Washington, D.C., scoring political points trumps creating sound policy. These my way or the highway politics don't work. If the behavior we have witnessed in recent months continues, our city risks losing quality staff, scaring off top replacements, and attracting only council candidates who thrive on bickering and confrontation, not a future most residents would choose, and not a recipe for success.
Thank you.